Hey everyone, today we're going to be going over how to save $400,000 in taxes throughout your retirement. When you retire, there's a couple of choices that you have, and in certain positions or certain people, you're able to do some different strategies to minimize your taxes throughout your retirement tremendously. And we're going to talk about some of those strategies here today. One of them being Roth conversions, there's charitable distributions, and for certain people out there, who have maybe larger IRAs or larger 401ks or money they might not spend in their retirement, these can be some great strategies to minimize your taxes today. So we're going to go through that. Now we have a whole little program here we're going to be going through, and at first I'm going to explain the situation of this individual here, what they have going on, what they're doing, and then we'll get into the strategies they can implement today to save that $400,000 and up in terms of tax savings. So we have Bob here. And Bob is retired. He just retired a couple days ago, and he's 60 years old. Now, right now, he's single. He has no other income coming in. He is just retired. Now, a couple things that we're going to be showing here with Bob is also how much money he has coming in, what he's spending per year, and what that looks like. Now, Bob does not spend a lot of money, okay? When you look at this, his basic living expenses, like cover the bills and everything, is $3,000 a month, $36,000 a year. Now, he also might be taking some vacations and doing extra stuff on top of that, but Bob has some rental income coming in, about $1,000 a month. He's going to have Social Security that's going to be above what his basic living expenses are. So income is not a concern for him. He has enough coming in. He does not spend a lot of money, but he does have a lot of money saved up in IRA accounts. So let's jump in to what he actually has saved up today and what that looks like. So I'm going to go to money here. I'm going to go to investment assets. And you'll notice here, Bob, $38,000 to Social Security at age 62. He has $12,000 a year in rental income coming in. And if we look at his investment assets, Bob has $600,000 in a 401k, $100,000 in a 403b that he used to have, $300,000 in a traditional IRA, and another $750,000 in another traditional IRA, equaling out to $1.75 million in assets. So Bob has a lot of money, all on the IRA side of things. He does not have a Roth, right? All money that has not been taxed yet. So Bob put this away, all right? It didn't pay taxes on it, and now when it comes out, he'll have to pay taxes. And for those who don't know watching the video, the big concern for Bob is that when he turns 73, he is going to have something called an RMD. What is an RMD? It's required minimum distributions. What that means, at age 73, Bob is going to have to take money out of this account and pay taxes on it, whether he likes to or not. So the whole point of the strategy we're talking about today is how do we control the taxes that we pay to make sure we're in the lowest tax brackets possible and don't let the government force us into some bad tax situations where we're going to pay a lot more than we should. Because ultimately, everyone should pay their fair share of taxes, but at the same time, to me, I think every American citizen should do their best job to pay the least amount possible within legal means, right? And that's what we help our clients do every day is how do we pay the least amount of taxes? And for Bob, his big thing was, hey, I know I have an RMD problem. How do I solve for this? So, looking at this, we're going to go into results here. And Bob, he can retire fine, right? His income is not a concern. So we look at his current scenario here, it's going to be at 99%, meaning he's definitely going to make it throughout his retirement. The big question is whether or not, how much taxes he pays. How much does he actually keep on his retirement? Because you'll see 1,000 out of 1,000 trials, Bob made it through. He didn't run out of money at any point in time here. And if we scroll down to recommended scenarios, here we're going to go through some tax situations that Bob has going for him here and see what can we do to minimize our taxes. We're going to go tax planning, go through this here. As this loads up, the big thing with taxes is making sure you control what bracket you're in. When I say tax bracket, what I mean is that 12%, 22%, 24%. we want to make sure we're in the lowest bracket possible throughout the length of our retirement. This chart will kind of give you a good description on how that works. So what we're going to do, we're going to show this without doing anything. If Bob were to do nothing today and let this money just grow, well, we're going to have some issues. So one thing you notice, these are the tax brackets to talk about. So that's the 10, the 12, the 24, or 22, 24, 32, and so on, up here to 35. So right now, if you look at the tax brackets, Bob, when he's not taking his RMD before he's 73, he's in a pretty low tax bracket. But once the RMDs start, see those green lines there? Those are the RMDs. His tax bracket jumps up. So we're going to go, if you see all these RMDs here listed, he's going to be paying over $100,000 year one in an RMD. Then it goes up every year. It dips down. The market probably drops here, if we're seeing that. And then it comes back up again. And Bob, when he's in his 90s, 92 years old, his RMD is going to be $323,000. Meaning in 1 year, he has to take out over 300 grand, pay taxes on it, whether he needs that money or not. And as you can imagine, that shoots him up into some pretty high tax brackets. So our goal is to figure out what is the tax bracket we need to be in throughout this whole entire retirement to minimize our taxes. And we do that through something called a Roth conversion. Now, a Roth conversion, what that means is that we're taking an IRA and we're moving it over to a Roth IRA. So we're going to pay taxes today on that money, move it over to a Roth, and that Roth is going to grow tax-free for you. And if your kids inherit that money, right, they can grow it tax-free too. If you had that money in an IRA, you get RMDs, but then if you pass away with that money inside an IRA, when your kids inherit that, they have 10 years to take that money out and pay taxes on it. So this could be good for your lifetime, but also if you have kids you're giving this money to, could be good for them as well. So let's go over this Roth conversion and what's going on here. Well, there's a load up here. So you'll notice we are going to be staying below the 24% tax bracket, meaning we're paying 22% or less on this money. And every year we're doing a Roth conversion. That's this yellow line here. So we're doing these conversions every single year, up to certain income values that are the tax brackets. Okay. Now, if we did this, you'll notice the green is not nearly as large because we converted a lot of this IRA over to a Roth, and a Roth has no RMD on it. So effectively, we almost never hit this 24% tax bracket. Not at one point. If you recall with the RMDs earlier, we were well above that 24% line for most of Bob's retirement. But by doing this RMD, we are now staying in a lower income bracket. And you'll notice this number here, we're saving $467,000 in taxes by doing this Roth conversion. Right? Just by paying taxes today in a lower tax bracket than what we would later on in a higher tax bracket. Now, what this is not solving for is if taxes go up. You see, if taxes increase, which in 2026 they are currently today, unless something changes, taxes increase, right, then this Roth conversion we might have done year one, year two is going to be even better, right, even a better tax savings result than we're showing here. So as taxes go up, the Roth conversions today make a lot more sense. So when looking at this, right, in total, what we can do for our clients, when looking at Roth conversions and everything here, for some people where we have money in an IRA that we know we might not use, we'll take some income from it, but not all of it, and we know it might build up over time, a Roth conversion can make a lot of sense. If you're someone that doesn't spend a lot of money, and odds are you're going to kind of build up some sort of nest egg here in your IRA, a Roth conversion can make a lot of sense. One thing with these RMDs that you could do, if you want to give money to charity, right, you can do charitable giving out of your IRA, and it can help limit your tax exposure, sometimes eliminate it, with the RMD. There's a lot of strategies you can use on the tax savings side of things. And when looking at this scenario right here that we're showing, this is kind of a perfect scenario where we have a good amount of time before these RMDs start to convert this money over. All right, and by converting that over, we have this giant tax savings. Now, last thing I'll show here, with the asset values, right? Probably the more important thing, how much money do you keep? Well, with our strategy of Roth conversions, we end up with $10.8 million. Most of that money, $6.5 million, is in a Roth. If we didn't do this, we end up with $9.9 million, with 6.1 in a taxable account, like a brokerage account that we took money out of the IRA from, and 3.8 million left in the IRA. So if you think money going to beneficiaries, to your kids, they're going to receive a lot more money, about $1 million more, plus most of that money, more than 60% of it, taxes are already paid, and it'll grow tax-free for their lifetime as well. Money compounding tax-free over 30, 40, 50 years can be a giant impact on the wealth of your family and what that looks like. So when looking at this, I think Roth conversions can be a great strategy, but it depends on the individual. All right, everyone's going to be a little bit different. This is going to impact people in positive ways and sometimes negative ways. Depends on what tax bracket you're in today and what that looks like. But if you haven't already, please like and subscribe the video. Really helps us out. We have more content coming out like this here soon, so definitely subscribe to our channel. Any questions, leave them in the comments below. We'll make sure we answer them. Have a great rest of your day.